we are, without a doubt, self-admitted haters. We are haters.
I mean, come on. If you know me, it's like...
he be hating.
No, it's... Yeah.
Well, at one point, for sure.
Let's
if you know.
tee up the story.
Okay.
Or whatever this is.
So, again, I threw down some context about when we met. I was 17 at the time. You were super early 20s. We're working at a new wake park that's run by a boat dealership. Action is an amazing place and super good vibes. Their first year open, like any new business, they're figuring stuff out. And they were taking the approach of, somebody selling $100,000 products to $30 cable passes. That's not something I was used to, and I had a lot of angst in general about kind of what was going down, and also just like in the sport, right? And I'm at the time being 17, I'm like doing back threes on like some 720s. I'm doing things that are reminiscent or like to the layman look similar to what a pro wakeboarder is doing. So to me, and my 17-year-old self, I'm like, bro, I'm basically a pro wakeboarder. Why is nobody paying me? What is going down here? Like, this is not sick. So this is phase one, right? This is the general starting point of almost every human being, unless you have just like amazing parents or amazing role models. And even if you have those, you still start here, like as an adult.
Yeah. So what Dylan's teeing up is like a roadmap of your progression as somebody in like maybe not even board sports culture, but like, let's just say it is, as a human. But we're going to relate it
to board sports.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the general starting point of everybody. This is phase one. Everything is whack.
Yep.
Everything
the worst place to be, but a lot of people start there. We started there. Yeah. We were there. And I find myself there sometimes still. And like I'd be talking to people like you and other people who are further ahead in the progression of a hater and can help snap me out of it. Right? So I guess give an example of what is everything is whack.
Let me elaborate a little bit. Basically, you just repeat anything negative that you hear about anybody that you don't specifically vibe with. So unless they've given you a reason, like they've met you, they've DM'd you, you really vibe with one of their videos. Basically, if anyone has any success that you don't personally know and hasn't given you a reason to like them and create positive brand affinity, they are whack to you. Yep. And part of this, you're blaming everything on outside circumstances and things you have no control over. That's where all of your attention is going. An example of this would be somebody puts out a really sick street video and they are wearing a helmet or not wearing a helmet, and you think it is whack because they are wearing a helmet or not wearing a helmet.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Another thing, somebody puts out a video that they like clearly put tons of time and energy into and like just curated this beautiful thing, and you don't like the song and you're like, it's whack. I don't vibe with it. They did 6 MBDs, but I don't care. Yeah. Song's whack. Hater, you are everything is whack mode. That is not it. And like, you'll catch yourself just in general, like you'll hear something that's new. You'll start to feel change. A new crew will come on the scene. And again, this is within the analogy of board sports, but this is life in general.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like everything is whack. You're exposed to a new stimulus or like a new thing, new person. And you're just like whack until proven otherwise, right? Guilty until proven innocent, basically.
Exactly. That's good. Okay. So that's kind of the initial.
Yep. That's where we're starting point.
Stage one.
Yep. And so this was us when we worked at Action for the most part. Like we were cool kids. Like, we had good times and talked positive things and hype people and push people off the dock. But we were talking a lot of crap about our employers, which suck. Like, that's just not a cool spot to be in. Like, now just being older and more mature, like, that's just not it. They were providing whatever. Doesn't matter.
Built a cable park is awesome.
Yeah, built a cable park. Shout out for building a cable park. And I was just being like a little shit, basically. So, phase two, all right, you start doing some shit, but other than the shit you're doing, everything else is still whack. Right? So, this was us when we started filming our first movie, ZMT Tape. Yep. So we filmed the whole thing on mini DV tapes as a homage to, the VX1000 parts that are so prevalent in, I think that you got a tape up there, but that are so prevalent in skateboarding. And we're like, it's going to be mostly street. It's going to be so sick. And basically we decided to get off our butts and start doing something about it. And we planned out this movie and we did it, and we filmed the movie, and it was sick and it was cool. And honestly, phase two in that era of our lives was a pretty good place to be, because when you start doing some stuff, even if what everybody else is doing is whack, at least you have something else to put your energy into, right? You're putting your energy into what you got going on. And then the leftover energy is spent being like, that's whack.
That's a great way to put it. The leftover energy. Yeah. Yeah. Which is not much because you're putting a lot of effort into what you're doing.
Yep. So this is absolutely like a step in the right direction as of progression of a hater. And I mean, outside of board sports, right? Like you start going to school, you start caring about your appearance, your hobby, getting good grades, getting the job you want. And then all of a sudden, like what Sally's doing with her life matters way less.
Yeah.
What what song they used in their edit matters a lot less. The fact that this person grabs their indie nose bones like at the boot just doesn't matter as much because we're getting kicked out of spots all day.
Yeah, and I guess the way you're saying progression of a hater is like a really good way to encapsulate it, but I at least never hated anybody. I never was like, I hate that guy. It's just like, if somebody asked you about him, you'd be like, oh man, like they did this, it was whack. Like that's your, like, it's not like I hate you. Like it never was like that for me.
No, it's for sure just poking fun at a negative mindset. Yeah. This is just progression of a human going from a negative mindset to just pouring all of your energy into trying to move things forward yourself. And maybe there's for sure levels above where I'm at right now and where you're at right now. And maybe when I come on in 3 more years, we'll talk about that.
All right. So that was stage 2. You're doing something.
Yep. Phase 3. So since you started doing some shit, you realize shit is really hard to do. And you have more empathy for other people. But there's still a few things that you are 100% positive are whack. And you're still blaming outside circumstances. Maybe not fully. Maybe you started putting a little more energy into yourself. But basically, for us, we created a movie. It was sick. Everybody liked it. But we realized, like, wow, these are not pro caliber tricks. The filming did not look that good. It was real. Like, we had some show outs at premieres, which were sick. But that was just because people knew us. Like, it could have been even worse than it was. And people would have still showed up. And you just realize, like, wow. Stuff is really hard to do. Like anything is hard to make when you like actually sit down and like
put effort towards it.
Just fulfill an idea. It's really difficult. So you realize like, shit is hard. And you just start to have more empathy for people. It's like that song is whack, but like, let me just not focus on that. And he like really went hard on like doing all this and creating all this stuff. Like that's super cool. But there's still a few things that just really grind your gears. And you're like, but he's doing it wrong still.
And I think at this part, you're starting to understand that, like, let's use the song example where it's like, that song I didn't like, rather than that song is whack. Like, you're starting to begin to get there where it's like, but just because I didn't like the song doesn't mean it didn't fit with the part or it didn't, like, was edited well to it. Like, you're starting to beginning to get there where it's like, oh.
And the thing is, you just start to completely reframe how you think about stuff. So instead of having the thought, I didn't like that edit. It's not like you're lying to yourself and you're like, I did like that edit or someone else liked that edit. You just catch yourself because still in all of the phases and like I'm still in this, my initial thought is like, this is change. It's whack. I'm a human and it's outside of what I can predict. So like, I don't like it. That's my initial thought. Like, I hate this song. This is stupid, da, da, da. And then immediately the thought that comes right after that is like, you know what? This is really sick that they made this video and that it's contributing to the sport of wakeboarding and that they were just able to be a human being and just like do something they love and create this part. So it's not like fooling myself into like liking the part. It's just completely changing where my thought pattern goes. And it's just like, I'm just hyped that this exists.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. And then it's like, dude, I like that song like back in the day. It's like, then I'm just like, it does kind of vibe. Like, I actually do like this part. And again, it's not like lying to myself, but you just come at it from a different frame. Yep. So yeah, that's phase 3. We're moving in the right direction. And I mean, this was literally just like as I was on the toilet, just like hitting some phases type vibe.
Yeah.
But then we got phase 4. You start to realize how valuable your attention and energy is and pour it more inward. As a result, you care less about other people and what they're doing. You still don't agree with everything. You just don't take personal offense or put energy into most things. However, there might still be a few things that get you going, and you have healthy ways of venting them, which is where we're at now. But basically, the overarching picture of this is your attention is focused in the beginning almost solely on other people and what they're doing, and in a negative way. Because if it was in a positive way, it would just come inward super fast. And it's just moving to more of like pouring all of your energy inward, right? Like, reflecting on what you got going on, how you can make a change. And then instead of thinking like, this is whack that there's no money for prize money in this contest, right? Instead of that thought, because that thought's just not helpful. That's not productive. What does that do? The only way and context in which that thought is productive, if it's followed by something that's
here's
actionable.
How I'm going to make that change.
Here's what I could do potentially. Like, let me post to my Instagram that I'm here. Like, that could be one thing that's like super chill and super easy. Like, let me just promote this event so more humans know that it's happening.
Yeah.
And then obviously a bigger thing would be like, well, who do I know that has money that would potentially enter, you know, and then your brain starts going in that way.
Yeah.
So you still have the thought like, man, it sucks that there's not more money, prize money for this contest. And then it goes to like, how could I create like a world or an environment where there would be more money for this?
Change that.
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of where we're both at right now. We're both in like the action step of like you creating your podcast, me trying to, you know, do stuff with my own business and provide value to brands, and just taking a new approach and just like pouring stuff inward and just being more actionable with what we got going on.
Yeah. I think the progression of a hater is a very interesting thing, because it's very like, I mean, dude, you'll see it wherever you are, at the cable, at the skate park, when you're snowboarding. It's like everybody.
Dude, just the default is
everything's whack, and it sucks, dude. Like, it sucks, because that's just not fun. That's not fun. Like, it's
not productive.
It's doing nothing for anybody.
It just makes you less excited to live in the world. And I mean, obviously, right, we're talking about this within the context of board sports, which are like kind of silly. And it's like these examples we're giving, like, oh, you don't like a song? Like, who really cares? But this framework is applicable to everything in life. Like, if you really think some political stuff going down is whack, or some current event stuff, or you just think the world we live in is horrible with attention spans going away and people being on their phones more and AI is really scary, it's the exact same thing. It's just starting from like, everything is whack. There's all these things that I can't control, and I'm going to pour all my energy into just like talking about and expressing about how they're whack.
Yeah.
But when you can pour it inward and just be like, what can I do? How can I like acknowledge that this is what's going down and like find my place within it? Life just becomes, you just get more optimistic. You're more excited to live life and just share it with those around you, and to progress into a better human being. And it's freaking cool. And it's just rad that we're able to grab these like metaphors and life lessons from this silly board that we ride.